Prophecies foretell of the arrogant Magsork, humbled by a loss of power and seeking penance through meditation.
Yeah, not today, asshole. I've got more damage, more sustain, and more reasons to use my zap stick. Keep on dreaming and tell your mother I said hi.
Hi, this is Khan from Ninja Pulls. We finally have an excuse to update the Magicka Sorcerer, and it's better in just about every way. Despite nerfs to the Thief Mundus and to daggers, we gained a bit of damage this patch. The Maelstrom 2H and our buffs all direct damage for 18 seconds. That could be tailor-made for Sorc rotations, which are typically 18 seconds and spam heavy. And instead of applying a multiplier like the Master at Arms CP, it adds a flat amount per tick, scaling off your stats. So for direct damage abilities that hit multiple times, every tick will inherit that bonus damage. Think of Force Pulse, Biting Jabs, Rapid Strikes, and Bound Armaments. When we fire it at 4 stacks, we get that bonus 4 times from just one cast. TLDR, Armaments is now worth slotting. Not just for damage, it transforms our sustain as well. You can now easily run max Magicka food for damage or bi-stat food for survivability. That is a massively underrated feature. It also makes Magsorc more engaging without confusing anyone. Chill players can just fire armament when it's full, no stress. But a Magsorc veteran can kinda put their skills to work. Always firing armaments on cooldown and constantly monitoring crystal fragments because if it procs, then it takes priority. There's some real moment-to-moment optimization you can do. It's not needed, I didn't bother with it and most players won't. It doesn't harm accessibility in any way, but it's there for all of us if we want a little extra challenge. And for me, that's great gameplay design. Another really cool thing this patch is that a Lightning Staff front bar is now genuinely competitive on a Sorcerer. It's fun to lean into the theme of a class. I've never had a problem using daggers or greatswords on a Magicka character, and I think the people who get super hung up on this and want to fuse role-playing with the combat system, at the end of the day, that's kind of asking for a much less interesting game, and that's where they lose me. But I was really pleased to see that I can pretty much hit the same numbers with a Lightning Staff as I can with daggers, despite losing a weapon glyph and a status effect. Most fights you stack at the boss anyway, but there are obviously times when that's tricky, and only needing to go melee for a couple of seconds here and there, that's pretty handy. After the dummy hump with daggers, I'll show one with lightning. The rotation is exactly the same either way. Pre-buff with the pets, overload and trap. Prey, stampede, replace trap with carve first time round, then armaments, and after that it's pretty much rinse and repeat. The amplitude passive means our opening burst is important. That's why I use overload if I have at least 300 ultimate. Less than that, and I wouldn't bother. Drop the Atronach as you hit about 200 ult. If you wait too long, you risk going under 170 and losing it. Prey every 6 seconds is priority number 1. Nothing takes precedence over this unless the fight is almost over or if Carve literally has 1 second left. Then it's Stampede, every 18 seconds to keep up the buff. Trap lasts a bit longer, but Stampede has that weird animation, and the easiest way to deal with it is to always pair it up with another cast right after. Next priority is Carve. As a 30-second dot, it's almost free DPS. But if the fight is really short, or if you're bad at keeping it up, just swap it for Hurricane. Next are the pets. You can cast these statically, or if your weaving is nice and fast, you can stagger them. Totally up to you, just make sure you don't recast the Twilight below 60% or so. Once Prey, Pets and Dots are rolling, just spam frags until Bound Armaments hits 3 stacks, then weave your next light attack into it to add the 4th stack and immediately fire it. If you weave really fast, it can crap out sometimes and fire only 3 stacks, then add the 4th. This has been around ever since Bound Armaments was added to the game, so don't expect a fix anytime soon. If it's happening to you a lot, just wait half a beat longer before light attacking into this ability. It's not really a noticeable damage loss unless it's happening regularly, and it happens to me once or twice during this one. Another nice thing about having Overload on the back bar is that we don't need to bar swap to cast the Atro. Keep a close eye on it and try to drop it the instant it is ready. That's pretty much it. As static rotations go, you can't really argue with this one. We don't have an execute to worry about, although if you're up against multiple targets and execute, it might be worth dropping armaments for Mage's Wrath. Just keep in mind that Magicka Sustain will be tougher. For the last 20 seconds, it can be worth recasting a dot early here and there so they're all running right to the end and you don't lose damage. But you don't have to. Just don't recast any of them in the last 8 seconds or whatever, just fire one more prey and then spam until it's dead. You can use Overload again to boost your damage in the last few seconds, but that's very min-maxy and probably only worth it if you've got 84 ultimate, enough for 4 light attacks. I really like these changes to Magsork this patch. They're not very disruptive, the rotation is practically unchanged, it's still very easy to play, but Bound Armaments gives it an extra dimension if we really want to push it. And we can go semi-ranged if we want to, without really losing any damage. Here's the same thing with a lightning front bar. My results are not super precise, I just knock over the dummy a couple of times, and the damage can obviously go higher. I mean, this is a static rotation, so it's kinda hilarious that it gets 130k in the first place. But just the fact that I got 130.7 with daggers and 129.4 with lightning, not even a 1.5k DPS gap. I'm sure that's going to make a lot of Sorc players really happy, and maybe even persuade some Oakensoul players to try Magsork in all its glory. I hope the rotation and explanation are useful to you guys, and help you get closer to 130 on your Magsorks, or even over it. That's what these videos are for, right? I want to say thanks to all of you who show your support here and on Twitch. If you like the video but haven't subbed yet, please do, and please share it. There's still this popular idea that high DPS in this game is really difficult and sweaty, and I want everyone to see that just isn't true. Ninja Pulls is becoming a more and more massive project, which is fantastic, but we can't do it without your support. If you want more details on anything in this video, check the website, feel free to post questions here, or join the Discord and hit me up there. I'll see you around, and thanks for watching.